Hey everyone, this is Undead Viking here with another video review for you. I do apologize, it's been quite a while since I've actually made a video. I have been laid up sick for, you can probably tell from my voice, I've been laid up sick for quite a while actually, with a really bad case of strep, and which became an ear infection, and it kind of ran rampant through the house. So this is a review that I've wanted to do actually for quite some time, but as life just interceded and what have you, I haven't been able to, because it is for a game that's on Kickstarter, and it's almost over. It's got like just a couple of days left or so, but it's a really good game, and I wanted to make just a quick review so I could tell you about Dead Men Tell No Tales from Minion Games, that just so you know that it was out there, and the thing is that it's already funded, it's blasted its goal that it has, and it's going to be out there really soon, well, published anyway. And but I want, in case you were sitting on the fence and you're wondering my opinion of it, I want to make a quick little video, and I want to tell you what I think of it. So let me show you how the game is played really briefly, because I'm going to lose my voice pretty quickly, and then we'll come back here and I'll tell you exactly what I think of this sucker. Okay, alright, cool. Dead Men Tell No Tales. Okay, this is what your game board, or I should say your table, will look like right as you get ready to play a game of Dead Men Tell No Tales. The theme of the game is that you're all members of a pirate crew, and you've just like battled this legendary ship called the Skeleton's Revenge, and they have massive treasure on board. And so your players are working together to board the ship, and you are attempting to gather those treasures and escape with them. And depending on how tough you want the game to be, it's either like 4 or 5 or 6 treasures. And if you want really tough, like, you have to defeat all the enemies that are within the ship as well. But the game, I'm not going to go through. I know if you watch my reviews, you're used to me going step by step through things. But as I said, I'm just trying to do this rather quickly, so hopefully the video can get out there for people to see this. But as with lots of games that have tiles, you'll be building the ship as you play, and you'll notice that there are some dice here that are rolled randomly at the beginning of the game. That's what I rolled prior to showing this, and that's the level of the fire that's in that particular section. As the game progresses, you draw cards off of this deck that will cause those numbers to increase. If they ever are at a 6 and they increase above 6, an explosion occurs in that particular spot of the ship. And when an explosion occurs in a part of the ship, you will add this explosion token that will climb up like so. And if there ever are explosions that get to the skull and crossbones, that causes the entire ship to explode, and you lose the game. There's other ways to lose the game as well, like if you're ever unable to place one of these tiles due to the fact that the way that it's set up, the board is set up, then you've made it so you can't get the treasures, and so you're unable to do that. If you ever run out of these white cubes, which are the crew members of the ship, that means that you haven't done your job, as you're overrun basically. There's too many crew members running around. And if you're ever, because of the fact that because once a part of the ship is blown up, you can't go through it anymore. If you ever make it so it's impossible for you to get to a treasure because of that, then you've lost the game as well. So on your turn, what you'll be doing is, and I just this is a 3-player game, what you do is you take these tiles, you shuffle them up, and you take 2 tiles per player, and you kind of set them like this off kilter. The reason for that is because in the first turn you'll be placing 2 tiles, and so when you place a tile, you'll have it like this, and you can see that tells you that you put a red die with a 1 on that location. You can see that there are 3 exits like so, and this is a powder keg, and that means that if the fire ever gets to 3, this thing will explode. And so you have to place it so you can match up the exits, like so. So that would be a valid location. Obviously, you know, if you can't put it like this, because then that one of those exits would not be valid. And so you go ahead and place that. And so then you take the red die and you put that on there, like so, on the one, and then then you have to draw another tile. And so let's just see. And then here we go. You know, nothing special about this one. It's just a 3. And so we can go like this, and that is a valid. And then you'll take one of these and place it like so. And that's like the first thing that you have to do when you on the first part of your turn. And you have to do that right away at the very beginning. I should mention that you also, you know, have different actions and things like that on your turn. And I apologize. This is your player board, and this dial here will tell you how fatigued your pirate is. And as you run through fires and do things, you get more and more fatigued. And you can see these numbers over here, like 5, 4, 3, 2. When your fatigue level as a pirate goes up and hits those locations, that means you can't enter rooms with that level of fire in it. And so as you get really fatigued, you can't even enter a room with a level 2 fire. But you can fight fires and what have you, and defeat them. And also at the beginning of the game, I should mention that you actually do randomly, or you can pick too, but you randomly get a pirate that has a certain power. You know, like Whitebeard here, his player is fatigued by 1 less than normal, except during battle. And so, like, you can, you know, it's just, you know, they have a little special power that allows them to break the rules. And you place that over here to show which person you have. And then you also get one random piece of equipment. You know, so like, here's a bucket. You may lower a fire die in an adjacent room once per turn. You know, compass, 1 free walk or run action per turn. So once again, just something that allows you to kind of break the rules or whatever, depending on the ability. You know, rum, 1 free rest action. Of course, why wouldn't it be? And so then if you have an item, you know, you just, you know, place that over here to show that you have the item. Items can be dropped, and then they can be picked up by other people. When you drop an item, you don't actually drop it on the board. You just kind of put it face down in front of you, or face up in front of you, and then other people then can kind of just take that. They can put it one of their cards face up in front of them, and they can take the card from you as an action. That's one of the many actions you can do, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. But so on your turn, after you've gone ahead and place the tiles, you then will take your pirate actions. You get 5 of these tokens. One of the pirates gets 6. One of the female pirates gets 6. But if you don't have her, you get 5 of these tokens. They look kind of like gold doubloons or whatever. And each one of these counts as an action. So you'll sit there and you have them, and like this is face up, and that's face down. And so you flip them over as you use them. Now, you don't have to use all your actions if you want to. Any actions you don't use, you actually hand to the player on your left, and so they can take those actions. And if they don't use them, then they, you know, would then, you know, give them to the next person, and so on and so forth. The bottom line is once it gets back to your turn, you have to have at least 5 actions. So theoretically, as people use them, they hand those tokens back to you, so you have them. So when it gets back to you, then you can go ahead and do them. Your actions are pretty straightforward. As your guy, you get to walk. You know, that's an action. Moving from spot to spot, that's an action. You can choose to run, which gives you you can move 2 spaces with 1 action, which of course obviously makes it so you can get somewhere faster if you want. The thing about moving though is that if you move from an area that has a lower, like if you went from that area to that area, you're going into a spot that has a higher level of fire, and the difference of the level of fire actually increases your fatigue by that difference. So 1 to a 3, that would increase your fatigue by 2. If you did it like twice, you know, like let's say you were here and you did a run, so you went from here to a 1 to a 2, and then 2 to a 3, you do get the fatigue increase from both of those situations. So I mean, that's something that you have to take into effect, and that's something that you have to, you know, obviously track as far as your character is concerned over here. You can then Fight fire. You can lower the fire level of a room, and your pirate is in 1 for each action point you spend. And if you lower it in a spot that has 1, you actually eliminate the fire entirely. Now that doesn't mean that it's gone forever. Like explosions and stuff can actually set fire to the areas and things like that as well. So I mean, but you can actually get rid of a fire. It isn't like it just gets stuck at 1. But then it's just an action. So if you were here and you wanted to spend an action, I fight fire and I'm going to lower it down to a 2, and that would be, you would do that. You can also, if you're in the same spot as a crew member, like this little white cube there as a crew member, as an action you can just kill him. You eliminate him, you shoot him, cut him, hack him down, what have you. You just spend an action, bam, he's gone. Don't have to worry about him in that spot anymore. Which is important because as the crew members come out, like as I said, you can lose the game if you run out of them. But also, after there's a ton of them, they can actually block access to rooms and things like that. And you can't let them, and they do move around searching for pirates, and they don't really hunt you down and kill you, so to speak, but they just kind of impede your ability to take the actions that you want to do. If there happens to be... Oh, gosh, my mind is foggy today. When you draw a room, you have this bag of tokens, and you will take a token out and you'll put it in a room when you place it. And so depending on the room, you will draw a token. So this is actually a guard of strength 7 that is guarding a treasure. And this is actually like a pretty big room. So like if that guy was in there, and you had to worry about that, not only are you worrying about the powder keg exploding, but you got to get in there and you got to fight that guard and hopefully like be able to take that treasure. Because if you can grab that treasure and get it off the ship, that's part of your goal in that situation. Part of your goal to win the game, if you will. So, for guards and enemies, the people that like hunt you down, they're more powerful than the actual crew members, and they have that power level, and you actually do have to try to defeat them by rolling a die and having to beat them up and take them, if you will. But you do draw, like I said, you draw a token for each person, and you place it on the tile, if you will. And let me just draw another token for the other tile that I placed. And well, here I actually got. Oh, jeez! I actually got another guard, another treasure. But I don't want to put another treasure. I want to actually show you some of the different ones that you can get. Some of them will like have an enemy like this. He'll hunt you down and fight him, and like if you kill him, you can get a grog, and that would actually, by using the grog, you actually lower your fatigue by that number. Some of them will just show a trapdoor. When you show a trapdoor, that means it's a spot that more crew members come out. And so when you actually place a trapdoor on the board, you add a crew member to the room. So like if you drew this one, like so, you'd add that dude in there, and so there'd be like a crew member that you'd have to eliminate in that spot. So you have to draw a token for each one. Excuse me. So you can, as an action, you can rest. When you rest, you lower your fatigue level by 2. It's just automatic. So if your fatigue level is 5, you spent an action, you just lower it by 2, and you go down to a 3. You can, actually, as an action, you can just increase your battle strength. I don't know thematically how that means, but you start off at a 0, and you, as an action, you can increase your battle strength by 1. Maybe you're collecting weapons that you're finding, or you're stealing yourself for battle, and you can do that up to a +4. Now, that's important because that's the bonus you give to your die when you run into something that you have to fight, like that guy with 7 over there. So, sometimes you'll have to spend a couple of turns getting ready to fight that guy so you can use it. And you don't automatically use it. You can use it if you want to. Once you do use it, it goes down to 0. So you got to basically pick and choose and make sure that you're being intelligent about doing that. And finally, as an action, as I said, you can swap your item card. You take 1 new item card by spending 1 action, either from the face-up table or from another face up on the table or from another player of your choice. And this is one of those people that you can talk and say, you know, I got this card, why don't you take that one from me? And the cool thing is that you can do that multiple times. So like you can actually like, okay, I need your bucket, and then I'm going to need your sword, you know, and so you can do that as a couple of actions as long as you have the actions to do those things. So after all of that is said and done, you have to go ahead and draw one of these event cards. And on the event card, it's going to tell you what happens. Well, first of all, you have this die here, and that was my cat. You have this die here, and on the die there is a color, and sometimes it's both colors like this, or sometimes it's just one color. And if there is a die out on the player board that is of the number that's located, it increases. So, you know, luckily in this situation we don't have any that are that high, and so we don't have to worry about any of them increasing to a 6, which would stink, you know, if you will. Now, alternatively, and I want to show you what some of these other cards actually show. Some cards like this will show that not only do you get more of these increasing or whatever, but you also get like more this trapdoor. It means that you're spreading out your crew members as they appear. This means that you're increasing crew members. A blank die like this means that any room that you, like, if you had put out the fire, like say in these two rooms like that, you would now place fires back in that location. You know, because of the fact that any spot that of that color that doesn't have a die, you restart a fire in that spot. Some of the cards will say these are the enemies, making the enemies move. It should be mentioned that enemies will move and will hunt people down, and so will crew members, like I said. But the guards won't. They'll stay right there next to the stuff that they're supposed to guard, and what have you. And so, and that's, you know, as you are you know, going through these different things, you will just draw one, and hopefully, like I said, like, you won't ever have a level 5 fire that goes to level 6, because that actually causes the explosion and causes like you to possibly lose the game. So there's a couple of things, if you ever are able to build, get through all the tiles and build out the entire ship, and you have actually an exit that would go to nowhere, you can actually add this card, which is the dinghy. This is like another exit from the ship. So, like, you know, it's another way for you to get the treasure off of the ship if you want to. And the game continues, like I said, until you can collect all of the treasures. So you're I like it because one of the reasons I really like it is because you have to obviously keep exploring the ship, because you have to keep drawing these tokens and getting the actual treasure tokens to come out. But you also need to make sure that you don't expand too quickly, and so you don't have a ton of situations that you have to take care of, especially if you're not playing with a ton of players, because of the fact that like with more players, it seems like you're kind of able to manage the chaos a little bit better, which makes sense. But you do run the risk then of, like, if you play it too slowly, then things you're not getting it over with quick enough to, like, if I don't think I'm explaining correctly, the increase in the tension, actually, if you're going really slow, because it's really a race against time, because there's really nothing, you can't stop the fires. They seem to constantly be able to grow and increase, and if that's all you're worrying about is taking care of the fire, you're not going to be able to find the treasure. And if you're just taking care of the fire, then you're not worried about the crew members, and then you're not worried about the enemies, and you're not worried about getting the treasure. And so there's a really weird balance that you have to take care of. And you have to kind of maintain that weird seesaw of what needs to be done right now in compared to what needs to be done to win the game, which any good co-op game should have. You can actually be killed if you end up in a room that explodes, or your fatigue level goes all the way up to to this little blood sign up here, and that it can happen from battles. Like so, like if you went up to battle that guy with a 7, and you had only like say let's say a +3 and you roll this, and so that would actually win. But if you rolled like that, whatever you failed by, the difference between the combat strength, you add that to fatigue, and then like you either have to after you fight like a guard, you can fight him immediately or you can leave. But if it's an enemy, you actually roll on this little card here. On 1 or 2, the enemy retreats, and 3, 4, the pirate retreats, or you can fight again, and 6 is player choice. So sometimes you'll be forced to fight again, and you'll be in a situation where you'll get damaged even more, and maybe that person will kill you. If you do die, you drop everything you have, obviously, and you just draw a new pirate, and you start over. And obviously, you start over here, and you're coming in as well, and jumping back into the fray, so to speak. So that's a really quick overview of the game. I didn't build out the ship or anything like that, but it is fun to build the ship out. It actually starts, kind of taking over your play area, and it is fun to see what the ship ends up looking like, as with any tile-based game. But let me tell you more about exactly what I like about the game in my conclusion, which I'll do right now. Alright, we're back. Okay, cool. Well, thank you. I realized that wasn't really in-depth how to play. I just really don't have the strength, and like I said, I'm worried about my voice giving out here. Well, for starters, Dead Men Tell No Tales, it's a cooperative game, and so if you've watched my other reviews of cooperative games, it passed the Undead Viking 3-step test for cooperative games. Now, people think I don't like cooperative games. I do very much so. Some of my favorite games are co-ops. Arkham Horror was my #1 game for a very, very long time, which was then taken over by Eldritch Horror, another co-op game. And I really do enjoy the team aspect or what have you. But there's like 3 and a quasi 4th rule that I have for co-op games. The first one is it has to beat me the first time I play it, because I'm going into it kind of blind, and the game should put a stranglehold on me and not allow me to win. 2, each player should feel like they are a needed part or a needed role in that game, and meaning that there isn't just each person isn't just an interchangeable part, and each person should feel like they are contributing something towards winning the game, and they're also and they also should feel like at the end of the game, win or lose, they can point to what they were able to do to either help win, or unfortunately, if something bad happened, that they could have done better, and then they can learn from that. And 3, like I always say, if I play a 4-player game with 3 other people that are equally as good at the game that I am, I should only win about 1 out of every 4 times that I play. And I really feel that's the same way for any cooperative game. The game should be difficult enough that when I do win, that 25% of the time, it really makes me feel good about myself for like defeating the game. Now, my 4th rule is kind of just out there because it all really depends upon the gaming group, and that is the whole does it go out of its way, or at least try to take away the one-person leader thing, where one person's just telling everybody else what to do. You need to go over there and take care of that. You need to go over there and take care of that. You need to go over there and take care of that. Okay, now go. And that really isn't playing a game. That's just one person being a general. And some games I found actually lend themselves towards allowing that to happen, and some of them try against it. But like I said, that's more of a gaming group problem and not so much a game problem. But I've played games that just kind of there's no individuality as far as the different players and what they're able to do, and so it kind of takes that away. So safely say the Dead Men Tell No Tales takes care of all 4 of those, and it really makes the game a lot of fun. I mean, ultimately, I like the theme. I think the idea of it is really cool. I've played a lot of pirate games, both PC, lately board game. Assassin's Creed 4 was like one of the coolest games ever on PC, and well, I guess on console as well. And I really enjoyed that, and like the whole idea of ransacking the burning ship and running like about it, that was like part of the fun of the game, was like after you like had blown the ship up and you pulled alongside of it and you were able to jump on board and attack and fight people or whatever. And that's part of this game. And also like in movies and stuff like that, it's always like, you know, Master and Commander and stuff like that, you know, is kind of interesting. So I enjoy the theme, and they could have theoretically gone with a different theme, or, you know, it could have, you know, been a burning house and you had to save people or something like that, but obviously there's another game out there that does that. But, you know, I really, I really enjoyed this one. For the theme and the feel of it and everything like that. And also I really like games where I'm building something, where you're building that ship and you're building the pieces and the parts and what have you. I like that aspect as well. Ultimately, you know, is the game fun? Yeah, it's a heck of a lot of fun, because it presents a puzzle, and it presents, in each turn that you have, you're presented with a puzzle of what you need to take care of, you know, and it's like, and I like the ever, you know, ramping up of the difficulty of the game. As with lots of co-ops, and I really enjoy it, there's like this steady climb, and it starts off really gradual, but then slowly the incline gets deeper and deeper, and the longer that you take to solve getting those treasures, the more and more difficult it's going to become, because of the fact that the fires are increasing or whatever. And you should never feel like you don't, you know, it's like, I know that you have that thing where you're handing off actions to somebody, which I think is a really, really cool mechanic, and I like it. But what I like about it is that more often than not, it's a really good decision that you have to make to decide if you're going to be like using it to do something for you, or is it better for me to pass off these these actions that I have left over to the person to my left, because what they have to do right now is more important than what I have to do. Are the fires that they have to contend with more important than the crew members that I need to dispatch? And I like that. I mean, I like the fact that you have to weigh that thing. The game does become a little bit of a mathy story problem kind of thing, and I don't mind that. I kind of enjoy that. As long as, and I know that there's a person or two in my group that kind of didn't get lost in the theme, but for the most part, all of us were really enjoying it and having that weird swashbuckling feel to it, and embodying the characters that we were playing. And I'm a big fan of board games that tell stories, and then you talk about them after the game, and you actually like are acting out, like, you know, and like you're putting out the fires or whatever. And there was a very, very funny moment when one character, that's pretty much all they did, was there was this like 4 rooms that just had powder kegs in them, and they were just running back and forth. That was their job. They were a fireman throughout the entire game, and it was very funny. It was just, you know, and the image of this person running back and forth, you know, with buckets of water or what have you. So there you go. Dead Men Tell No Tales. If you like cooperative games, I think it's something you definitely want to check out. If you like pirate-themed games, I think it's something you definitely want to check out. And if you like both of those things, I think this is a must-buy for you. So, there you go. It's only got like a few days left, if anything, on Kickstarter, depending on when you're watching this. So, I strongly suggest that you check this out, and if you think it's something you want to play, go ahead and back the game so when it is published, because it's going to be published, you can get a copy of it for yourself. Alright, well, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. As always, I greatly appreciate it. And until next time, and hopefully my voice doesn't sound like this, you have yourself one heck of an awesome day. Alright, bye-bye.